Keeper Aquilus, can we have a moment?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents? Your mother still struggling with that azalea garden?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil. But, Keeper, I didn't come to catch up.
Oh. Well, what's on both your minds? Oh. Yeah. How humanity comes together. How we are to love each other, even as our universe becomes even more complex.
That's not exactly what we mean. Keeper, when you talk about unity, well, does it mean anything else? Something secret?
Perhaps we should talk about this inside.
Aquilus has helped me through some tough times lately.
Ist gut, Andreas. Geh schon mal vor.
Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you tell me exactly what it is that brought you two here?
They're like nothing we've ever seen, Keeper. Gravitational distortion, sub-audio harmonic sequencing, unidentifiable energy fluctuations.
I caught half of that. So, these things are unusual? Even in your experience? There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding of the universe. Beyond rational thought. We enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing who we will become, and yet the risk is made anyway. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where it would take you. And it's brought you here. I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer, I can give you a path to discovering its meaning. There's an old story, far older than the Sanctum Universum, of someone who walked the settled systems and saw every corner of it. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it as just a parable for trying to bring humanity together, but maybe it's more. In my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun. And he gave them each a part of the truth. Then he goes to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum addendum, his addition or contribution to the infinite. But what if the story isn't a metaphor, but a code? A way of finding the pilgrim again, or at least his grave. Yes, something must be there. I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe the answer will become clear when we have more. The House of Enlightenment and Varun have versions of this story. The Enlightened work out of the well here in New Atlantis, helping the poorest citizens find a better life for themselves. Varun worshippers are more enigmatic, but there is a lone zealot that was captured recently for attacking UC ships. I visited her a couple of times. Hopefully she'll be willing to talk to you as well.
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
You've got something for me? Thanks for giving me a moment of your time. I promise this won't take long. I thought you deserve to know how proud I am that you chose to side with the United Colonies and put an end to the Crimson Fleet. You've almost single-handedly saved the settled systems from one of its most dangerous enemies. I can't possibly commend you highly enough. Well, I'm not sure I deserve that, but I appreciate it all the same. What I want to know is what motivated you into making the right decision. You had Crix's legacy in hand, and you could have easily taken it to the key. Instead, you flew it to the Vigilance.
Interesting.
Yes, that would have been unfortunate. The Crimson Fleet would have had enough wealth to fund their operation for decades. So, no regrets betraying Delgado then? I imagine you and he formed quite a partnership right up until the end. No, I'm sorry. I refuse to excuse Delgado for his loathsome behavior by placing all of the blame on his fellow
I'm
pirates.
sorry, dass ich nicht
I'm
wieder.
also a bit disturbed that you would leap to his defense so quickly.
Sorry.
Live long enough among the wolves and you begin to act like them. Yes, I understand. I suppose my final concern is how long this newfound peace will last. Perhaps. My only concern are the reports that Navamora was never captured or killed. My hope is that she was smart and went into permanent exile. I suppose only time will tell. Ah. Well, it appears I've soured the mood of our lovely conversation. I trust my mindless prattle hasn't been too much of a bother. Thanks for taking the time to listen.
Guten Tag.
The House of Enlightenment. If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are backlogged. Don't worry, we're doing everything we can.
Ich habe mir jetzt genug Geld.
Sorry. Can I help you?
Der Akku schickt mich, ich möchte meinen Bruder sprechen.
We don't mean to be intrusive. Any information you could provide would be very useful.
Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity pilgrim, but since you both insist, our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. It's the closest thing I have to what Aquilus is describing.
Achso.
A man walks into the first House of Enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drifter. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter asks them a bunch of questions. If your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person might disagree. Isn't the problem of two what you're really looking for? And the founders respond, each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up. All of human effort is a story of cooperation pushing us forward. And it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year. Same conversation every time. Second person this, the problem of two that.
Jetzt sehe ich wohl mal, ne?
Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. I think they were experimenting with writing their own scripture. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the Drifter end, you never see anything like it again.
Ja, hilft. Mir viel Stoff zum Nachdenken.
Always happy to help. If you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of aid efforts to coordinate.
Alles gut.
A visitor? I have all the company I need.
Ich weiß, dass meine größeren Daumen der Baron gesprochen.
He knows not the truth. He sends another to ask more incessant questions.
Perhaps you should hear us out before you decide to cast judgment.
The great serpent waits in the shadows. He will entwine the universe, and all but the faithful will be made as dust. That is the truth. No more, no less.
Ich brauche mal ein Pilger, ich muss ihn wissen.
Anything you could tell us would be tremendously helpful.
Yes, I have spoken to your keeper about this. I will tell you what I told him, and then you will leave me. Jinan Varun meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But such is Jinan's conviction in the great serpent. He does not hesitate. He cuts the unbeliever down. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the great serpent is testing him, and he will not be found wanting. 4 times they fight. Over 120 rotations of the planet they are on. Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 120 rotations. But Jinan knows this is blasphemy and delivers the killing blow. That is all.
Yeah.
Then we are done. Leave me.
Well, you're back. What did you learn? Was there something hidden in their stories, like we thought?
Ich wäre der zweite und zweiter.
Planets are often named by number. That second might mean the second planet in the system. What else did you learn?
Klar, der kann nicht irgendwie 29 Tage für
If there really is a location the Pilgrim wanted us to find, those do sound awfully like coordinates. Was there anything else?
Ja, steht die signierte Kugel bis in 5 Minuten von der Flotte.
What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, we'd need to know the name of the star system, wouldn't we? Let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to a planet in the system. But what's the name of the system? Infinitum addendum. What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in and dumb. Well, that's certainly how I feel.
Ja, das war ständig. Ist die Planeten, die wir nicht dann sagen, wie
Well, I suppose that'll make someone laugh. Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum. At 4 and 120. That's where you'll find the Pilgrim's resting place.
Okay.
And from there, maybe you'll find the true meaning of unity. Before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives in our universe. In a way, you'll be carrying their philosophies with you on this journey. I know you're looking for a specific unity, but if you had to guess what it was, what interpretation would you give it?
Also das Heilige ist und das ist das Symbol.
Ah, but what makes something like that holy? Gravity is also a force that brings things together. Should that be sanctified?
Schwer ist im Grunde genau wie es Leben selbst.
And so you think this word unity describes a similar miracle? The processes of the universe are all in accordance with some greater intent.
With all due respect, gravity is no miracle. There are solid scientific foundations for it to exist.
Well, I won't keep you any longer. This has been fun. I have to
Ja, sie ist für bewiesen, aber trotzdem kann sie auch ein Wunder sein.
find your truth.
Okay. Ich noch ein nichts rein. Leichtgläubiger Anfall der Mensch verrückt mich immer wieder. Meine schlimmsten Instinkte, der böse Geist, dazu sie zu verachten. Doch dann fällt mir ein, dass ich in etwas eingeweiht bin, sie nicht. Darum sollte ich wegen ihrer mangelnden Vision verurteilen, da ich wohl weiß, dass die Scheuklappen sie behindern. Tue ich sie einst selbst. Für ihr Wohl hoffe ich, dass sie eines Tages verstehen und doch mal wohl nicht in Ruhe gelassen werden. Ich erwische mich dabei, wie ich verschiedene Vergangenheiten und mögliche Zukünfte denke. Ich stelle mir vor, wie ich den Weg weiter beschreite. Ich werde mich weiterentwickeln. Ich stelle mir vor, wie ich ein weiteres Mal den Schritt in eine andere Welt noch um alles von vorne zu beginnen. Auch bei dieser Weg scheint mir erfreulich. Jeder Schritt zu einer politische Belohnung in dieser Zukunft, die ich im Vorbringen verfügen, eine erfüllte Version von mir. Gesamtheit aller Möglichkeiten und Willen stelle ich mich dann einen anderen Weg vor. Was, wenn ich zur Ruhe käme, nicht mehr nach meiner eigenen Kraft strebe, was, wenn ich auf die Stiche des Mitgefühls in meinem Herzen hören würde und mich um Ivy kümmern würde, jetzt um mich versammelt, was, wenn ich einfach nur leben und lernen würde, um andere zum Licht zu führen, wenn ich sterben würde. Für mich stand ebenfalls erfreulich, die Vision vom Wesen der Zukunft auch erfüllt. Da steht aber gibt's, wenn ich aufhöre, an meinen eigenen möglichen Punkt zu denken, schwindet das Vergnügen fast. Lange was auch bleibt, wirklich will bestehen, was daran das Bleibende, Füllende. Ich weiß nicht, was dieser Unterschied bedeutet, doch ich bin dafür, dass mich die Zeit für diese Gedanken genommen hat. Die Suche nach der richtigen Antwort hergeführt kann, sonst die richtige Frage. Es ist die Allheit. Vor der anderen, wenn du mehr Aufzeichnungen gelesen hast, dann bist du die beste Menschen. Mit dem jetzt kämpfen. Danke, das spricht der Hoffnung. Jetzt ist die Einheit. Immer wandeln. Eine Bewertung ist selbst wahrscheinlich, ist die Koordinate zu Rinder. Sting, die Koordinate in Brand. Mann! Hör mal auf, mich rauszuschmeißen. Das ist die Allheit. Über Wahnsinn, ich selbst. Schon Quatsch. Sehr. Ist die Allheit. Der Moment, der mir das Auszeit nicht jetzt ist die Allheit. Ist 10 Jahre deutsche Einheit zu finden, wenn noch ein Ziel ist. Bis zum nächsten Mal, nächsten Tag, und ich habe mal eins verantwortlich von der Sekunde und ich habe die Abwieser warte. Ich habe mir die Petition. Ja. Ich kenne die richtige Antwort nicht, vielleicht erfahre ich sie nie. Mittlerweile muss ich das mal etwas ausnehmen. Ich schiebe diese Welt in die Zeit des Klarbetriebs, genau wie es sein soll. Diesmal wird es anders. Und es geht nicht um mich, weshalb ich mich fühlen muss. Ich kann etwas Eigenes aufmachen, ich mit etwas rumzuschauen, als anderen neuen Namen schicken, das davon nutzen will. Also gleich zurück in dieser Welt gibt es keinen Platz für sie, soll sterben, ich werde leben. Das Ganze liegt natürlich zu erreichen. Es ist meine Reise doch um alles zu wissen, ist zu verantworten. Wir haben noch Fühler 2, birgt die Insel, den Skorpion und die Stachelsfunktion verbirgt die Wahrheit. Okay.
All the essential building blocks to support life.
Cool. Hier sehen wir nicht so aus, als würde er live supporten.
What an incredibly beautiful sculpture. I suspect it was placed here for some sort of specific purpose rather than as an artistic statement.
Ja, sind das hier Region. Ich hab mir auf jeden Fall schon. Das ist okay, jetzt. Lass mal rein. Ja. Wir müssen nicht Richtung Stadt. Das ist komisch. Ich kann mir auch mal angucken. Ah, ja. Der war witzig da. Ja, witzig. What? Spricht hier doch vielleicht nicht. Okay, jemanden nicht. Ja, was jetzt hier geht mir raus. Okay. Ja, da ist das der Stachel. Ja, okay. Oder ist das stark nach vorne? Ich hätte ausgesetzt können. Jetzt nicht jetzt hier mal rausnehmen. Ja, privilege man das sagen. Ja, okay. Ja. Ja, tatsächlich. Hatte recht. Nächsten stehen wir zu. Aber hat er recht. Ja. Oh. Du hattest hier. Wir waren mit der Eltern aus. Okay.
I can speak for myself. Constellation ship, you weren't invited to this meeting, but much of our conversation has been about you. It's only fitting you should join us. I will personally guarantee your safety as long as you come in peace.
And think of it as a ceasefire meeting. Your one shot at getting those answers you must desperately want. Good.
Na gut.
See? We can all get along.
Braucht nur mehr Antworten zu bekommen. Wer ist stark genug, wenn wir ihn von Barrett, dann werde ich dich mal besiegen. Ich mit Barrett. Also, vielleicht hätte Barrett eigentlich verdient. Aber interessiert ja auch, was wir zu sagen. Nicht stark.
Hello. Again. You remember the emissary, perhaps? And their ship, the Helix? I believe they ambushed you above Neon and demanded that artifact you worked so hard to gain.
Thank you for the stellar introduction. Your success is unprecedented. Before you came, we were just discussing how continued use of force against you is unwise.
Immer nur reden, ja, kann sein.
Yes, we did. We are not a monolithic people. The Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause. Others are in it for themselves.
We're all in it for ourselves. Some of us are just more honest. The emissary threatened your ship, demanded you hand over your artifact. How is that so different from what I did?
We needed to warn you off. Every encounter with one of our kind could spell disaster.
For whom, exactly? I say whoever can collect them should.
No, pytałem się wtedy.
And who gets to say that? You? Me? The emissary? I have debated morality for near infinity, and all I have found are groups of people enforcing their will on others. Rules and laws spoken as principles, but backed by arms and violence.
Enough. We have more to discuss.
Irgendwo hat er ja auch recht.
The Unity. You are on the path to it. It is a place, a gateway. It is where we were reborn.
Not a relatively expendable Dusty anymore, are you? Look at where you've ended up. I'm not who you think I am. This universe is only the first one you've been to. I've seen hundreds. Where I came from, I was the one who stayed at the lodge to protect the artifacts. You died on board the Eye while we held off the Hunter.
One of me, at least.
I collected the remaining artifacts, and they opened the way to the center of my universe, and the doorway to an infinite number of others. That is the Unity. When I stepped into it, I became a Starborn. It's how I've entered other worlds, including yours. And that's the problem. All the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary and open the way to the Unity. In every universe, the Starborn fight over them. Innocent people die.
Wie
You've
unser
witnessed the
Babel.
power granted by the temples, the anarchy that can be unleashed. Someone has to decide who should get them.
Here it comes. The emissary tells you only the worthy should enter heaven.
You're twisting what I mean.
They're hypocrites. They use the chaos caused by the hunt for the artifacts to establish an order where they decide who's worthy. I attacked your lodge because I wanted the artifacts, and you held me off. You got away. That wasn't some morality play. You didn't survive because of righteousness. You won because of persistence, luck, and skill. As I have done countless times.
I was also human once. But what does it matter who or what I was when eternity is within your grasp? You're learning. My other self wants you to walk the path he walks. To give up. To appreciate the universe.
Das war jetzt eigentlich schwer zu erraten, ne?
Easy for a person who's seen everything, done everything. I think you should see it for yourself.
You've never come this far. Not in all the universes I've seen.
Okay.
The path to the Unity is opening to you.
You're going to tip the scales one way or another. Better your hand be on one of our sides. Bingo.
I want a truce between all three of us. If Maybe some time to think over which approach to the Unity is the one you want. Mine or the Hunters?
Yes. Let's see how willing you are to live under someone else's rules. Just remember, one of us isn't trying to judge you.
I'll tell you everything I can. I know we're not the same people we met in our universes. Still, it's good to see you again, old friend. It's not an easy experience to describe, but the Unity will speak to you, offer you the chance to become Starborn. We'll be leaving this universe behind to be reborn. Everything you were before will be gone. Maybe that's why it offers the choice. Compassion? Or is it testing us? I never know who you are when I meet a new version. But so much of you stays the same. It's hard, but each universe is precious in its own way. Mine will never have its original you in it again, as yours won't have its real me.
Wenn soll beschützt werden, Starfield?
You've seen the terror the Hunter causes. Every time a Starborn goes through the Unity, they get more artifacts, find more temples, gain more power. We can't let more like him abuse these gifts to destroy whatever's in their way.
Genau, ist das Armament.
And all the artifacts are symbols. The device they create is called the Armillary. In many ways, it's a model of the multiverse itself. Through it, you can reach the Unity. And from there, you can become Starborn.
Was hast du zu sagen?
You might think the emissary is on your side, but your persistence is what forced them to tell you the truth. Remember that.
Bereite dir die Eier. Warum tötest du sie?
Whoever created the artifacts and built those temples is playing a game with us. One whose prize is access to the center of all creation. There are no rules. Whoever gets all the pieces wins. And I've won. Over and over. I don't kill for the Unity. I find the easiest pathway to it. I've simply found that it's the quickest way. Talking, forming alliances, waiting for the right moment to commit theft. It's all so tiresome. I'll admit, you getting away has been the most interesting thing to happen in quite some time. As soon as I realized what had happened, I knew I needed to wait until this meeting with the emissary to decide what to do about you. To see what would happen, of course. You might not understand just how many times I've done this. Usually, you're the one who ends up dead, and whoever cries over your body goes on to become the emissary. Sometimes I manage to get you all bunched up and take care of the problem in one go. Sometimes the emissary has gotten to me first, and I never arrive. Hundreds and hundreds of variations of me, packing through Constellation. And it's almost never you. You making it to your ship on your own. It's new. I took it as a sign. I don't get many of those anymore. They enter the Unity, take artifacts from others, employ force. All the things I do. I am many things, but I would never tell anyone what to do with their gifts. That is your decision, not someone else's. The emissary wants to become the judge of who gets to enter, but the Unity itself doesn't judge. No, we always end up having this meeting at this time. But it's the usual affair. Can we make peace? No. Oh, how tragic. Honestly, I was beginning to wonder why I kept tending. That it's a bad habit I started a long time ago. Perhaps I just like meeting the emissary to gloat. But you have provided something quite new to talk about. Maybe you're a random die roll. Or maybe the Unity is finally responding to all my hard work.
Kann ich nicht fragen. Interessant. Ich mag trotzdem Barrett mehr.
Before you leave, I want to give you something. A way to another artifact, but also a lesson in how dangerous they can be. Seek the moon of old Earth. There are secrets there you must discover for yourself. Here, to open the way. And I am sorry we have not always been forthcoming. I hope you will see what I have seen. You should also talk to your colleagues in Constellation. I am sure that they have gathered more information on the remaining artifacts in the fringes of space. Part of me wonders what they will all say about what you have learned. But I will leave that to you.
Hey, I've been talking with the others, and I'd like to get everyone together to say goodbye. You know, to Barrett.
Den ich gerade aus einer anderen Zeit gesehen habe. Ich komme.
Thank you. It wouldn't be the same without you there. I'll have everything set up in a few days.
Mateo told us about your pilgrim's voyage.
You found it, didn't you? The meaning of unity.
Hinter meist Multiversumszugang weg.
Wait, say that again? Multiple universes?
You can't possibly mean what I think you mean.
Let's take a step back. This is everything we've been building towards, and the implications are a lot to take in. Could you explain the part about multiple universes one more time for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
Barrett-Version sollte mir Allheit stellen, bitte.
And that's why the Starborn want the artifacts so desperately. They're the keys to unlocking the infinite.
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between universes.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion? Like the Hunter.
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist. And you're second-guessing it?
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation.
Ist für uns unbekannt zu mir.
You're right. We have to see the unity for ourselves.
I know this has been a lot for everyone to take in, but we finally have answers. Let's make the best of them.
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised, but still blinking. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen. These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the hands of the Starborn. Catch a smile out there.
Sieht man da von mir auf den Enden. Okay.
You are straight out of one of those film noir novels. Working undercover and thwarting the bad guys. Just walking around the key makes my skin crawl. How'd you pull it off?
Ich sag schon, die Vermeidung. Neue Strukturen ist da. Sie tief vergraben.
God, you were running point. You must have ice in your veins or something. I mean, don't get me wrong, helping Sis Def was never on my bucket list. Commander Akande, he really wasn't as much of a tight ass as I was expecting. And ultimately, he had your back, so I guess here's to SysDef. Who would have thought that, right? I just wanted to say, when we first teamed up, I had a good feeling about you. But this... you really helped people. Helped everyone. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Yep.
The lodge feels a little colder than it used to. In the end, you chose the UC over the Crimson Fleet. Do you believe that was the right choice?
I
can respect that. I am no supporter of the United Colonies, but I also could not bring myself to side with the fleet and what they represent. Did getting that close to Delgado and the fleet make it difficult at all? It can be harder to act against someone once you get to know them. Nor do I think you should be, but in this case, I believe you made the right call. They were pirates, after all.
Yeah.
It would be foolish to think, though, that we have seen the last of the Crimson Fleet. We may have eliminated the leadership.
Ja.
There are many more pirates.
Ein von zwei. Zwei ist jetzt geflogen. So, hier geben wir eine Piraterie suchen.
That is true.
Aber ein von zwei. Die zweite ist ja immer noch flüchtig. Kommt vielleicht noch was, weiß ich nicht.
Our recent victory. For now, you should enjoy your hard-earned victory. You have done a service for all of the settled systems.
Yup.